Can you spot the problem with this piece? Let me get in a little closer. Can you see it now? Can you see it now? Can you see it now?
Hi everyone, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and today is Monday, May the 29th, and it's time for vlog number 20. So, what have I been up to this week? Well, I've been finishing up a few projects and starting some new ones. First thing I finished my shoe. Oops, I just dropped a piece off my shoe, but okay, give me a second here to glue that back on. Anyways, here's my latest whimsical creation. I used those PBO, or I think that's how you say it, paints, the ones I showed you that take about 72 hours to dry, but to give you a really nice finish. Well, I used the Vertrel on this shoe and dripped it down the sides of it. And I haven't put anything shiny on this. That's the paint itself. It dries that shiny. And then I thought for the inside of it, since this is sort of a couture-like look, it made me think of fashion design. I had this die that I've cut out and popped up, and I had dies to cut these feathers, and I used oxide inks, Tim Holtz's new oxide distress inks, to colorize these. And if you look at it closely, you can see the watermarks. See down in here, in that, I'm in reverse order here. I really love those. I gave it a little bit of glitter as well, and I filled it up with these spools that I painted in metallic copper and gold colors. And just for fun, I coiled up some wire and stuck them in the shoes as well. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of whimsical. But it's part of my collection. So I've done now, is this shoe number 5? This is shoe number 5. So I don't know what I'm going to do next. My next shoe. These are starting to take over in my house. But anyways, a little fun. And they're fun to make. They're fun to make, really. And they're a little bit unusual. Okay, what else have I been doing? Well, let's see, I finished my mixed media canvas. I gave you a little preview of that. Let me just grab it. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, right here. I did a whole video on this. It's a long video. I've had quite a few views on it so far. I don't know if people are actually watching it right to the end or they're speed searching through it. It doesn't matter, whatever, if it gives you some ideas. I had no idea what I was doing when I started this. All I knew is I wanted to do something vintage looking and with some rust treatments to it. So here's the finished product. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Now, in my little teaser at the beginning of this video this week, I asked you to spot the mistake. Were you able to spot the mistake? I didn't even realize I had done this. As soon as I showed it to Walter when it was done, he immediately pointed out my mistake. And it's the number 1. I put the 1 on backwards. So I guess I'm dyslexic when it comes to numbers. I don't know. But I put the 1 on backwards. But you want to know something? I don't care. Because I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I don't think it takes away from the piece. If anything, it makes it maybe a little bit more interesting to look at because you don't expect the 1 to be that way. But anyways, check out the video I did for this. It's fairly long. Mainly because I did it in pretty much real time. I had to pause the video a few times so things could dry. But it gives you some idea of my process and what I was thinking as I created this. But I'm really happy with the end result, and I'm going to make another one another time. And this is a good way to use up some of your stash, because all this stuff was stuff sitting around that I didn't have any other purpose for. So anyways, that turned out nice. I've done a couple of more pours, acrylic pours. I did them in different methods. This one, I'm not that happy with it. The colors mainly, but it's different. It's definitely abstract. But I'm going to use it as a background for something. I might actually do a mixed media piece on top of this as well. This is my background. So we'll see what that turns into. You never know. This turned out nice. Now that one, this one, I poured the paint on and dripped it across it. I didn't really do what they call a dirty pour, where you put all the colors in one cup and dump them and then let it move around. I did on this one. That's how I did this one. get the glare off it, I varnished both of these pieces. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle in it. See if I can get the light. See that? I added, I put down 1 coat of varnish, and then while the varnish was still wet, I just sprinkled in some clear, fine glitter into it. When the varnish had dried, I put another coat on top of that to seal it in, and I think this in total had about 3 coats of varnish on it all. But it just gives it that little iridescent shimmer as well. Now I'm not done with this piece because I've got some acrylic skins that were left over from this, and I've got some pieces that I've done with those PBO paints as well that are in sort of that color scheme, and I'm thinking of doing that, maybe some wire combinations on top of that, so make that into a mixed media piece as well. Then on the weekend, Walter and I went to a place about 40 minutes drive from here. Newmarket is the name of the town, and there's a wholesale educational art supply place up there that I'd heard about from some of the people that work at the art gallery. And so we went up there to check it out. I was a little disappointed because they have a store, but the store didn't have a lot of stuff in it. I guess people order what they want in large quantities online. But while I was there, I picked up some big bottles of acrylic paint. It wasn't expensive, about $6.50 a bottle. I think I got 11 colors. But they were fairly good-sized bottles, and about 500 milliliters, I think. Maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe they were 900 and something. No, I think they were around 500 milliliters. But anyways, I don't have one here handy to show you. But I thought these would be great for pouring, and I wasn't disappointed. I did this piece, and I actually got cells. You can see them. Now this one has not been varnished because I just did it yesterday. It has been drying overnight. And so the next stage is to get this varnished. But I really love how that one turned out. And that one was done with what I call a dirty pour, where all the colors are in one cup, and you tip it upside down and away it goes. And then this one was a more controlled. I poured layers of paint onto this, and then, now, I haven't decided which way this should go. Maybe this way. I don't know. But I poured it in layers, and then I ran a stick, a stir stick, through it, and that's what pulled the paint like this. Now I didn't get any cells with this one, but that's probably because of the method I was using. And basically the paint I used on this canvas was the leftover paint from the other canvas that I had done, so I was just using that up. And I even had enough paint left over, and I can't show it to you right now because it's still drying, to make an acrylic skin. And I don't know, I think I may have mentioned it in some of my videos that a lot of people do these on freezer paper, and I'm not having any luck finding freezer paper for some reason. At least not what I see them using in the videos. The freezer paper they're using is white, and apparently it's wax on one side only. Then, while I was working on the mixed media piece that I used in the teaser, it dawned on me. I was using a disposable paint palette. It has sheets on it. And guess what the sheets are made of? I think it's pretty much the same as freezer paper. It's kind of waxy and glossy on one side. So I had a little of the paint left over from that pour that I just showed you. I poured it onto one of these sheets from the palette. And as we speak, it's still drying. I think it is dry, but I'm going to see if I can peel it off. If that works, that pretty much solves my problem of trying to locate freezer paper, which you wouldn't think is hard to find. There is some brown paper, but that's butcher's paper. But it looks like it's got some wax on one side in a place where I got all my deli paper. I'll have to go back and check that out a little bit more carefully. But I'll see if this idea works, and if it does, hey, easy. And if you don't know what acrylic skin is, it's just paint. Poured onto a non-stick surface, acrylic paint, you let it dry, and then you can peel it up, and you have this layer of paint, and you can make it swirly with colors and things like that. Usually mix the paint a little bit with something like pouring medium or that kind of thing, or some people mix it with matte medium gel as well to make it a little bit more fluid. And when it dries, you can peel it up and apply it to whatever. It's kind of cool. So I've got some, as I said, that were left over from that orangey colored yellow one that I did that I might use on top of that piece as a mixed media piece. We'll see. And when I get it done, I'll show it to you. Okay, so that's what I've been doing this week. So, YouTube channel of the week, watch this.
Okay, so this week's YouTube channel is the Frugal Crafter with Lindsay, and it is an excellent channel. I've been following her for quite some time now, and the thing I like about this particular YouTube channel is that she does it all. She does mixed media, she does painting, she does product reviews, and she has a lot of great tips on how to save money using things you already probably have in your house to create great pieces of art. She herself is an artist. She does workshops, and I believe she also sells some of her materials as well online. So this is a website that I think if you're really serious about doing anything in the world of art or craft, you really need to check out. She's a little bit hyper, but that's what keeps, I think, her YouTube channel really alive. And she's even doing live broadcasts now, usually about once a week. So if you subscribe to her YouTube channel and you click the little bell, you'll get notifications as to when those live YouTube videos are being presented. So that's the Frugal Crafter, and check it out. I think you'll really like it.
So I'm sure you're going to find Lindsay's web or YouTube channel very, very inspiring. She's got a lot of great ideas and techniques, and she's very conscious, as I've said, about people's budgets. So you can make some beautiful things with a minimal amount of materials that you have laying around in your house. Okay, so what's pissing me off this week? Thin skin. Thin skin that YouTube creators have. Okay, what do I mean by that? All right, you've all seen it. Somebody gets very personal on YouTube. Now, I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, I'm getting very personal with you, right? But they don't take criticism very well. For example, one very popular YouTube creator that I don't want to embarrass them or anything like that, and I don't want you to think that I'm being negative about them, okay? But they are crying, literally crying on their YouTube channel about, you know, they spend all this time making this content, sharing it with people online at great personal sacrifice of their home life, their family life, their social life, their working life, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, it's just so much. And then someone criticizes them. In fact, in this one particular case, nobody criticized them. They just gave them a thumbs down on a particular video they had made. Okay. Let me say that as viewers of YouTube channels, you do have a lot of power, okay? Yes, YouTube creators, like myself, we do put a lot of effort into this. We are kind of putting ourselves out there. We are making ourselves vulnerable in certain ways. We are exposing ourselves to you. But by doing such, we are taking a chance. There's a risk involved here. And the risk is, gotta get my coffee. The risk here is that we won't be able to please everybody all of the time. Okay, well, I think as a content creator on YouTube, you have to accept that as a given. You can't please everybody in the world, no. And there are people who are going to be more critical than other people. And, you know, so be it. Yeah, to see a thumbs down on a video that you've worked on, yeah, it is emotional. Okay, it does bother you. But let's not get onto YouTube and pretend it's the end of the world and cry and weep and wail. I mean, that's just sad. That's just sad. You gotta have a thick skin. I know how it makes me feel if someone makes a critical comment about one of my YouTube videos. However, I try to take that in stride and try to, you know, okay, what can I learn from this? And you got to leave yourself open to some criticism. And a lot of that criticism is very helpful. For example, I used to put music soundtracks in my process videos in behind. And I had a couple of people say to me they liked my videos, but they had a problem with the music in the background. They found that distracting. And I thought about it because I did it with music because I thought it would make things seem more professional. You know, like, because I've seen it on other people's videos. But they were right. I watched those videos back, and yeah, really, the music was distracting. So that's why, if you've noticed in my videos that I've been making the last few months, there's no music soundtrack whatsoever in the background. In some ways, that makes making them a little easier when it comes to the editing process. And I don't do a lot of editing, okay? What you see is what you get. Why is that? It's really simply because I'm busy. I'm busy doing other things, and that's one of these things that I hear people complaining about when their feelings have been hurt. That I spent so much time editing this and putting it together. Well, you know, maybe you should rethink the process. If it's taking you that long to do all of that, is it worth the effort? I make my videos to share with people. Yeah, there's a certain amount of ego involved with making them because it's like any creative process. It's a piece of you, all right? And no one likes to be criticized. But it's not going to change your life. In fact, a thumbs down, you don't even know who gave it to you. There could be many reasons why you got a thumbs down. It may not have, but, you know, don't take it personally in a way. There might be a thumbs down because they don't like the technique. It might be a thumbs down because there's, it just didn't appeal to them because they found that topic boring. Whatever. I have never really ever given anybody's video a thumbs down. If I don't like their video, well, so be it. I don't write a comment about it. I keep that to myself. Now, having said that, though, in my last vlog number 19, I had somebody that really criticized me severely. You won't see the comment. I deleted it. I deleted it for a couple of reasons. One, it was just nasty and hurtful. And I didn't need having anybody else really buy into that or see that. I know there would be people who would react to that comment that was made. It was a very extensive comment too. And I'll just give you, I'm not going to say who wrote it. This particular individual has criticized my videos before, and I've left the comments on there. As I said before, you learn something from the criticism. And then at the same time, this person has praised me, gone the other extreme. So I think this person might have an issue, but apparently I have the issue. Apparently, this person said to me in the comment that I need professional help. I have a psychotic problem or something. I need to go to, you know, a psychoanalyst, this kind of thing. Okay. This is why I thought, is this comment really a constructive criticism? Yes, I took one thing from it. Maybe I was sounding a little negative in that last vlog because I was kind of sounding like, I reviewed it, keeping this comment in mind. Yeah, I was kind of negative about some things, but it was just the kind of week I had, you know. Even this segment that I call What's Pissing Me Off This Week, you know, I call it that. It's sort of tongue-in-cheek, okay? I'm not a comedian, although some people find these kind of funny. Well, that's good. That's fine. Everybody needs a laugh, and I'm not really doing it for laughter, but I'm also, yeah, a lot of things I say are tongue-in-cheek as well, so fine. But anyways, am I going to let that bother me? Nope. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to try to get all of my viewers together to, like, burn this person. Nope. And I felt that it was appropriate, because of the things that were said in it, to delete it. Simple as that. And that's all I'm going to comment on that. So, bottom line of what's pissing me off this week, thin skin. If you're putting yourself out there, if you've got an audience, if you're showing whatever, your work, your heart, your mind, you are going to get haters. You are going to get people that will be critical. Take from the criticism what you can. Use it. The rest of it, ignore. And worst case scenario, hit the delete button. Okay, enough said. Excuse me. All right, what are we talking about next here? Okay, so new stuff, new product. Well, on that mixed media piece that I showed you and I was trying for the rust, I happened to come across these. And what these are, they're by Finnabar. And they're called Rust Effect Paste, and there's 3 different colors. And you're supposed to use them, the 3 of them together. Now, I show you in that video how I use them. So I'm not going to bother repeating that here, but I just want to say a few things about these in case you're looking for something that does this rust effect. So you can see these are the colors, and you sort of blend them together and you get a rust effect. This stuff actually feels like rust in here. It's gritty. I'll just show you what it looks like inside. So you can see how kind of gritty it is, a bit of a shine on it. It does not dry shiny at all. It's interesting stuff. On the, just let me grab it here. On this piece, I used it in the background, but you can't really see that. But I used it through a stencil on the one right here. And it does look like rust. It actually feels like rust. It doesn't come off. But it's interesting stuff. So anyways, if you're looking for a product where you can, create those rust effects, then I recommend this. I'll do some other things with it as well. There are other ways to do rust effects as well, but this was kind of easy. And it's by Finnabar, and Finnabar products, which are usually marketed by Prima, they are. Finnabar is actually, I didn't realize this, Finnabar is actually the name of a designer that, like a Tim Holtz or something like that. I think it's a woman. I'm not absolutely sure. I only just recently found out that Finnabar is the name of an actual person that does the designing of this stuff, and other products as well. But I've used, I think I mentioned in one of my videos, I used the Finnabar Clear Gesso. Actually, I used it on that piece as well, and I really like it. It's very smooth. Gesso has a gritty feel to it. It's supposed to. But the Clear Gesso in the Finnabar brand was very smooth, and I really liked working with it. It's a little bit more expensive. It's not quite as economical as buying a big jar of Golden or Liquitex Clear Gesso, but the trade-off is that it's an easier gesso to work with if you want, like if you're looking, you don't want that gritty texture. Anyways, that's by Finnabar Rust Effect Paste. I recommend it. Okay, so what's been happening in the past week as well? Well, you know that I got my 5 TV upgrade from Bell. The guy came in last Monday, and they told me it was going to take 5 to 6 hours. It did not. Part of the reason being is we already had a lot of things prepared and ready for this guy to help him out. We had disconnected our old satellite boxes. We knew where we wanted things located. I'd already downloaded the app and that kind of stuff. And the guy that came here, he was very good. He knew what he was talking about. But I could probably a what's pissing me off video about this. But I talked to several people at Bell before this guy arrived. I had a couple of questions for them that hadn't been answered initially. Well, I hadn't thought of the questions when I first made the arrangements for all of this. And when I tried to get some simple answers, which I already kind of knew the answer to these questions I had, but I just wanted those confirmed, nobody could do that. And finally, and I was on the phone for probably about 40 minutes. You know how it is. Your call's important to us, blah, blah, blah. They finally said to me, well, they really didn't know. Just ask the technician. So I did, and he did know. And luckily, everything worked out. But the order was different from what I thought I was getting. Actually, it worked out in my favor. And that was good. But really, I'm glad the technician knew what he was talking about. So anyways, now we've got 5 TV, and I'm really liking it. We just got the starter package. We just got the basics because we do a lot of streaming of video and that kind of thing. But I do like it. The quality is very good. And now I have internet speed from 25 megabytes per second to 50 megabytes per second, which is great because it takes a while to upload these videos to YouTube. And this just makes things a little faster. And so I'm happy about that. Plus I'm saving a little bit of money. Not a lot, about $25 a month, but that's over $270 a year. So you know, every little bit helps, especially when you're on a fixed income and you're retired. Yeah. So that was good. That worked out fine. What else? Oh, we went last weekend for us here in Canada. It was the Victoria weekend, the May 2-4 as we call it weekend. So Monday, everything's pretty much shut down. Well, most public places like banks and things like that. Stores are sort of open. I don't know. It's weird in Canada about holidays anymore. What's open and what's not open on an official holiday. No one ever knows for sure. Anyways, we on the Sunday we were trucking around. We went to okay. Let me back up. I'm getting mixed up here. I'm thinking about last weekend. Geez, seems like a long time ago. No, I told you about going to Art in the Park. What else did we do? Oh, we went to art gallery in the town next door to us in Whitby. It's called the Station Gallery. It's been there for years. And it's called Station Gallery because they made it out of an old style train station that used to be there. It's a small little gallery, but it's quite quaint. I haven't been there in years, so we decided to go in and take a look around. And that was last Monday, yeah. And actually, it was quite a nice little gallery. I found out later, though, that there's a second floor. There's a basement. And apparently that's where their permanent collection is. And we just were watching a student show from a local college here. That's what we went and saw. I didn't realize there was another floor. So I'll have to go back and check that out. So that's kind of neat. What else? Okay, so that's about last week. What's coming up? Okay, this is a biggie in my area. It's the Pride weekend coming up here. We're not a big city, and we have not a very big parade. It's not nothing on the scale of what Toronto is that attracts millions, and that one comes up the long weekend, the 1st of July weekend. But this one is always the first weekend in June. Not sure what to expect this year because I've heard there's been some internal problems with the organizing committee and whatnot. But it looks like they'll have the parade on Sunday. The parade isn't very long. The parade lasts a whole maybe 10-15 minutes, and that's if they're walking slow and well spaced out. But it's kind of fun, and then there's a big to-do in the park that's in the downtown core where they have performers, and you know there's vendors there. They have a beer garden, that kind of stuff. So we'll probably go down for that. It looks like the weather, the long-term forecaster is saying that's going to be nice on the weekend, so that's good. When the weather's nice, brings out more people to this kind of a thing. So that's coming up. Also on Friday night, it's RMG Fridays, and you've heard me talk about that many times before. So we'll be at the art gallery doing our thing there. But of course the theme is the Durham Pride event as well, so I think they'll have some LGBTQ performers there and whatnot. I don't think they'll have any art from them, maybe. The gallery right now is full of abstract art, and that's up until about September, so I doubt that there'll be any kind of, you know, Durham Pride art kind of a thing on display. It's also the demo day, theme day at Class Act, the local scrapbooking store that I hang out at, as you know. And I'll have to make an appearance in that, pop in, because it's always fun. There's always new things to be learned there, and Carol and her team always put on a fun day for everybody, so that'll be good. So I'll be running off to that. So if you're in the area, that's Class Act, downtown Oshawa. Be sure to check it out. Things will be going on all day there. So a little plug for Carol's store. So I guess that's what everything's happening this week. Final note, I'm just going to go back to what I said about thin skin. If you hate me, I can live with that. Okay? If you want to be critical about something, please do so. That's your right. Everybody has an opinion. But make it constructive. I take what you say seriously and try to learn from it and try to improve things based on that. However, if you're going to write a comment, like that one person I mentioned, that is just out to, for whatever reason, to unseam me from the nave to the chops, okay, then rest assured that I will not react to that comment. I'll simply delete it. As simple as that, okay? So, anyways, I hope you have a good week and good weekend, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Bye-bye.